everyone, welcome to the sale of my 1992 GSXR 750. Out of all my bikes in the collection, this is right up there in the top handful. This is just so iconic. It was a genuine poster boy for me when I was younger. I picture it up on the wall. I just think it absolutely personifies what 90s sports bikes was about. You know, you finish the era essentially getting into fuel injected GSXR sort of 750Y shapes and K1000s, you know, it was nothing like what this was about. But yet at the start of the era, it was really SLR 1000 Genesis sort of bikes that looked quite long, and this was just right in that era when, I mean, Suzuki and all the manufacturers were running at 1,000,000 miles an hour with technological advances, more power, getting the weight down, and obviously the graphics. There's just nothing like a mid-90s superbike, and that I think is just one of the coolest. It's such an original bike. I love getting this one out. I think it's just a brilliant bike to look at. It just photographs so well and it looks great. You know, I'll take it down the beach and park it up and genuinely have a coffee and just look at it. 17,000 miles. It's just coming up to 30 years old, this bike now. I think that just looks great. And the value at the moment, guys, I mean, I get so many customers and friends that obviously, yes, we're selling this and we're gonna sort of tell you the positives as well as pick out the bad bits, but when you look at what you can get at the moment, you know, 4 or 5 grand buys you something that you roll out the garage. It's less than a third of what the new sort of litre sports bikes are now, and I think you get 3 times as much enjoyment and probably 30 times as many people coming over to look at it at a bike meet. And there's only one way that stuff like this is going in value, so there you go. Anyway, let me walk around the bike. I'm really passionate about this. I think it's just such a lovely bike. Original screen, original panels, all of it's original nose cone. Sorry, you might see the odd bug. I went out for a little ride in it yesterday, not too far, but just to enjoy it one last time. Original paint on the wheels, it looks like original discs. Nothing's been touched in with this. Got some Goodbridge stainless steel lines on there, which does give you a half decent brake. All the 90s bikes, they suffered with the rubber hoses, but panels on this are just lovely. All the fixings and the fairing fasteners, etc. All original. Hardly a mark in sight. I mean, it's out of all the bikes that I've got, I mean, some of our retail stuff is worse than this, and they're 5 years old, you know, or more corrosion. They just finish these bikes so well. When you look at the finish on the metal, there's a few small areas like here where these are a painted finish. You'll get tiny oxidization marks here just on the beam if you get in, you know, really close. But it's got a Scorpion can on there. I've never really bothered to change it over, put an original one on there. I haven't got an original one. You can get them online quite easily if you wanted one, but quite period correct. When we opened in the 90s, we used to sell Scorpion by the bucket load. Great companies to deal with. But, so yeah, completely original at the back there. So you've got the original reflector down at the bottom and the indicators. I've seen a few of these come up for sale. I've seen them at similar money or a touch less. They tend to be, you get up close to them and they're just not right, if you know what I mean. I think this bike is, yeah, it's not concourse. You can't call a bike concourse unless it's absolutely sort of nut and bolt 10 out of 10. But when you look at the age of the bike, and the only sort of age-related marks are just small parts, I always sort of look at things like that. It's nice to see they're nice and tight, all the pivot points on it. Original warning stickers on the swinging arm. It's had a chain sprocket kit at some point. That's JT on there with a heavy duty X-ring gold chain, so that's not genuine, but yeah, that's part and parcel of owning a bike. I'll bring you around here. This side panel here, lovely. There is a very small mark just on the little bulbous part there. Got to bring your hands and knees to find it, but yeah, I'm quite a sort of sucker for trying to find things like that. Frame rail again, it's just got a couple of tiny little dots on there. Nothing, a tiny bit of wet and dry. WD wouldn't sort, but I don't tend to do that on my own bikes. It's got steering damper on there, very period correct, side mounted. I mean, nowadays they're all put up on the top. Tank's original as well. It's got the Very 90s tank pad. I reckon that's been on there since 30 odd years ago or whatever, but original decals on there. No dents on the tank, it's really nice. It has got just a couple of small marks here, and if you look in all the Suzukis, they lacquered in all the decals back in the day. There's just a bit of discoloration of the actual letters of the Suzuki. You've got to be in really close to see it. It's better here because I've got the sunlight on it. You can see there. So I mean, if you wanted to, I certainly wouldn't want to rub through the lacquer. If you want to be really spot on for it, you can get those decals, overlay them and get the tank re-lacquered if you wanted to make it absolutely spot on. But yeah, I think genuinely that as a untouched sort of bike, other than a can change, you'd be hard pushed to find a better one really with the mileage. Ignition on. Choke. Probably get what a little bit of choke, it is stone cold. Just about off choke there. They got such a lovely 90s sports bike sound to them, you know you're on one when you're riding it hard, trust me. So there we have it, 17,000 mile 92 GSXR 750. Thanks for watching.